Brian, before we get started and everything, it is time tonight for the bat question. And Brian, tonight's bat question is oddly enough about Spider-Man. Is
Let's do it.
All right. Is Spider-Man the most versatile comic book character ever created? Not the greatest, not the most popular, the most versatile. Is there any other character who's succeeded in as many comics, movies, TV shows, games, alternate universes, and different versions than Spider-Man?
So, I know you want one answer. I'm going to give you two.
That's
All
fine.
right.
That's fine.
So, my answer to currently, I would give it to Spider Man, aka Peter Parker. But you
Yeah.
can take that character a lot of different ways. Number one, you can do the traditional route of Spider Man's many adventures, right? And one of the cool things that we like about Spider Man, at least from our perspective, is we get Spider Man when he's a teenager, socially awkward, geeky, he's hella smart, but but really introverted versus you almost see the opposite side of his personality. Forget the powers. But Peter Parker and Spider-Man have very different personalities. That's why the secret identity thing actually works, okay? But you can also take them down the route of you could do stories just about Peter Parker. How he's trying to manage college, relationships, Aunt May, his parents, the Uncle Ben saga. By the way, I think he may even be better than Batman if you look at his dating history, okay?
Yeah.
I think the only person that might rival is the person I'm going to say could potentially rival him in a lot of ways being the most versatile character. I'll get that in a second.
Yeah.
But I think we look at what's already been done and the potential to do, again, with the various versions, whether you go the Ben Reilly version, obviously the Spider-Verse versions. Without Peter, we don't have Miles, all the Spider-Gwen, all of that stuff. So absolutely. He's also got, after Batman, I think the second best Rose Gallery. So you can just have multiple ways that he deals with villains, and I think Spider-Man Never Going Home talked about the backs of a lot of those villains. Now, you're gonna love my answer. I think, though, the only character that if they went down the route would be more versatile than Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, is one Richard Grayson in Night.
Yes.
Here
And
is
he's
why.
a dick.
Yes, he is. Well, especially as Starfire. Now,
Or Barbara Gordon. Or Barbara
yeah.
Gordon.
So that's I got a back question for you when we get done with this. All right. So with that, now we can do the traditional thing that we've done with Dick Grayson. He's the first Robin, the pressure of being the heir apparent to Batman. Also, all the things he's done as Nightwing with the Titans, with Bloodhaven, all that. But think about it. You could do all the versions. What if Dick Grayson's parents had never died? What about the different times he could potentially be Batman, became Batman? If he sets aside that, they've done so with him as a college student. Him becoming a father. My personal favorite comic of all time is Kingdom Come. So when he has Nightfire, what's that like to be a father? Him is, depending on the writer, he's got a relationship with Bruce Wayne that is sometimes father-son, sometimes sibling, all the things, and his ward. So I think with your first question is who is currently the most versatile character ever? It absolutely is Peter Parker. Who could be the most versatile character is Dick Grayson, because think about it, in one version, he's a multi-billionaire because he's the heir apparent to the Wayne fortune, not just Batman's mantle, but to the Wayne fortune. What if, though? What if he had grown up typical as one of the Flying Graysons, never been rich, all those things? So I think there's that. Also, he's just got more swag. I will say this. Dick Grayson has more swagger than Peter Parker.
So, can you imagine, and this is actually a little longer than I want, but because that brings up a good point, if Dick Grayson was bitten by the radioactive spider in the DC universe, in DC, would we have gotten Peter Parker? Or you could really have done everything the same, except you have a Spider-Man as Robin, really. But And honestly, you could tell really a lot of the same stories.
I think it'd have been even cooler though, because number one, the costume would have been cooler. It'd have been more of a dark motif. He would not be Spider-Man. He'd be like Sting, okay, or something like that.
Right,
no,
a dark something. He'd be DC's Black Widow.
Yes, very much that.
He would definitely be.
He would be DC's Wolverine. I mean, he'd be very much a darker character. He'd be a step. He'd be Punisher with more of a better moral.
That'd be a Jason Todd. If Jason Todd is bitten by a radioactive spider,
that.
He'd be a.
There's that. Yes.
I mean, that's gonna be the whole thing anyway. We could go down all the Robins.
Yes, what they would make a spider, how did they been by a spider, or expose the gamma radiation, all the things, right? But yeah, I think you could also have that really cool, interesting standpoint if he inherited the spider powers. So we as fans can fan cast it all day. But here's my other question for you.
Yeah,
so we oftentimes compare rogues galleries of Spider-Man's rogue gallery, Green Goblin, Hydro Man, Electro, all those, to Batman's rogue gallery, Joker, Catwoman, Scarecrow, all of those. Who has the better? And there's always back and forth. I'm partial to Batman, so it's gonna be Batman.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for Spider-Man, and I think it's 1A, 1B, whichever we want to go with that.
It's Batman.
It
is Batman, but like. You're right. The three people with the best rogues gallery in all of comics is Batman, Spider-Man, and the Flash.
Yes,
you know, but Batman.
And there's a dip between the first two and Flash. Flash is really good though, but there's some space there. So here's my question back to you. So we've discussed the rogues gallery. If they were making a dating profile, Peter Parker, whether they were dating Peter Parker or Spider-Man, or whether they were dating Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing. So on one side you've got Mary Jane Watson, Felicia Hardy, Gwen Stacy. On the other side you've got Starfire, Barbara Gordon,
Huntress.
Thank you, Huntress.
Black Canary can go both ways. I mean,
I've heard her and Ollie. Never mind. But so if you had to break it down, which one of them have the better dating history? Nightwing or Spider-Man?
Oh, dang, man. That is a tough...
Who got better, and whose would you take?
I mean, probably the better dating profile is going to go to Dick Grayson, because Dick Grayson doesn't have to put anything in it to be a good profile, because that's just Dick Grayson. He's the man.
As Dick Grayson, he does well. As
right.
He does well.
And all the girls in the DC comics want a piece of Dick.
There's a reason why he wears a domino mask. Okay, he's not trying to cover up all that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Peter Parker, on the other hand, he's a nerd, and he doesn't. His profile is going to be like analytical. I mean, he's going to go to ChatGPT, and he's going to be like, "Oh, how do we?"
Yes.
But
you can say his dating, his swagger increased thanks to Mary Jane Watson, right?
Oh yeah.
So, okay. All right. So with that being said, I think we can agree that on the Gotham family wins on the Rogues Gallery and the dating profile, but Peter Parker, when he gets you in the web though, or again, the still one from No Way Home. Does the web come out of any other places?
Yeah. Oh, love it. All right. Welcome to Bat Signals from the Multiverse, the Signal Scan, the weekly show where we break down everything that's lighting up our bat signals from across the multiverse, from comics to movies, TV to gaming, and even a little wrestling. If nerds are talking about it, we're scanning for it. I'm the B-Rad himself, the Emperor of Awesome, the Nerd Dad Brad. Let's see what we got. But with me I have the unverified twin. You know what? Hold on a second. I have the unverified twin of... Oh gosh, where were you?
You've only been doing this for like 3-4 years, man.
I just realized I screwed up something on this. Okay, well, I'm glad this is live, because I have with me the unverified twin of Macho Man Randy Savage, buzzsaw in the pinky finger. I have the unverified twin of Tobey Maguire in his dance moves.
Yes, sir.
I have the unverified twin of J. Jonah Jameson in the hairline. I have the unverified twin of William Dafoe's Green Goblin in his smile. And yes, I have the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples. 3 for a loop today, buddy.
I will say, though, if I'm going to steal anyone's dance moves, it's going to be Obafemi.
Oh, yeah, that's all you need, buddy. Well, that's a perfect segue. What are we talking about?
Sir. All right, sir. So, we're going to talk about all things in the world of Spider-Man. So, we're going to talk about Spider-Man. We're going to talk about some wrestling. We're going to do our Mount Nerd More. We got some games. We got some fun. And rubbing my hands like Birdman. My name is Brian S. Dennis. Well, this week, the S stands for Web Slinger. All right, my friend. Lead us off, brother.
All right, man. So what are we talking about? So, like, as far as comic goes, we'll start out with some comics.
Sure.
The big one that I read this last week was Batman number 12, written by Matt Fraction. And it is fantastic. This is the issue that we get to meet Verity Pennyworth, the great niece of Alfred. Batman's been without a butler for a while, and this one already knows the identity. And although I thought that would have been a pretty cool thing they could have gone to, secondary storyline, but why wouldn't she? But yes, the great niece.
Maybe that's a handbook. Like if you're Batman's butler,
yeah.
Is there like an NDA you got to sign up? Like think about the people that work for Bruce Wayne. Okay, so you think about and the ones that know. So there's the Pennyworth. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people that know Bruce Wayne is.
So there's the Pennyworth. There's the Fox family. I mean, there's lots of people who are on the Wayne/Batman payroll. All right, and you know that would be great negotiation. So like if I'm Batman, because that's the dream, right? So if I'm Batman, and you, Brad, go ask for a raise, and I go, I can't do that, and you maybe, well, I might forget to, not share your secret of what you do at night, right? So, that would be really interesting. I think they play with that a little bit in The Dark Knight, where like, so when the one accountant figures out that Bruce Wayne and Batman are one and the same, Lucius Fox, who's such an underrated performance by Morgan Freeman, when Lucius Fox points out that your client, one of the richest men in the world, also spends this night beating up bad guys, you're going to blackmail him, right? But, some intrepid
and then he gets saved by Bruce Wayne.
Yes, some intrepid person would bring that up. Like, wait, you said I didn't meet my goals? Well, one of those goals I kept your secret. So do you want to revisit this, Bruce? Right? Yeah. That would be the thing. You got to add the hard B on it, Bruce. Right?
Yeah.
End with like the oos, like straight up like Jimmy Uso, like oos, like throw it out there. How you feel about it, Bruce? Yeah. And then when you get the raise, you have to walk out and go, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
all right, my friend. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Batman number 12, great. Definitely get it. I'm gonna try to do a quick signal about it. I'm gonna review it here sometime here in the near future. My movie signal for the week is Super Troopers 3, but dude, it is not good.
Okay.
Man, like,
there's a level drop from Super Troopers. So I was curious about 3. Please tell me they have the meow bit or something related to meow.
So they have something related to it. They try to up it up a little bit, but it falls so flat. I mean, I'm not going to watch Super Troopers 3 for an amazing story. I want to laugh at some really dumb jokes, some dick jokes maybe,
absolutely,
whatever. It is the entire movie is a parody of Indian stereotypes. All it is. They make poor jokes, stupid jokes, and then even for the story, it's very, very predictable from the beginning of the movie. how it's gonna end.
Sure.
And I was so disappointed. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. I know who is the bad guy or whatever it is, right? But like, make me laugh. Make me laugh. Like, I don't like. That's what I'm coming here for. And it got maybe 2 chuckles, not belly laughs, like chuckles. Okay.
And if you're gonna do comedy's hard to begin with. Comedy's much more intellectual than emotion. It really is. But if you're gonna do silly on top of that, you gotta land. Because there's nothing else there. Nothing else there. Probably the funniest silly movie I've ever seen is Dumb and Dumber. But they landed on everything.
Yeah.
On everything. There's something about Mary. Silly, but they landed on everything. Super Troopers is also kind of sticky. Some of the Jackass movies. Like, again, you know what you're going to get. But that's okay as long as you give me what I expect to get and you do it well.
Yeah.
Do it well. And there's no pressure to make Super Troopers 3. It's not like we're sitting here waiting for the next, we need that unfinished Super Trooper trilogy. So you have time, you've had years. It's almost no excuse for it not to be done well. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was. Well, that was my movie of the week. I do want to watch the new Robin Hood movie with Hugh Jackman. It's on Apple now. I do want to watch that.
Okay.
I'm going to watch that tonight. But we've been rewatching.
Instead of shooting arrows, he shot adamantium claws. That would be great. That'd be great.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds went there. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. My TV.
I want you to count how many. I'll watch it myself. I want you to count how many scenes that he's shirtless in, because again, similar to Matt Damon, if I'm in my 50s and I can still see abs, which I never seen my abs before.
Yeah.
But I look like either one of those cats in my mid 50s, as they both are. You would have to pay me to wear a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to pay me to wear a shirt. Okay, like that's the
contract.
Like,
17 scenes every movie without a shirt on.
Right, that would be contractually mandated. Like, and have the rainfall, of course. You know, all the things. So straight up out of Lord of the Rings with Viggo Mortensen's character. Like, it's always raining, but just perfect. So I always look like freshly, beefcake. All right.
Yeah. Man. And then other than that, my TV signal for the week, I got 2 of them. The show Lucky. Have you had a chance to watch that?
I have not watched Lucky.
So good. It's on Apple. Apple's killing it right now. And X-Men 97. And also, I guess, I finally finished the new season.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed by the finale. It was a little underwhelming.
I thought for sure, I was waiting for you to catch up. I thought for sure there was going to be one more episode as the season finale. That was, to me, the episode that leads to the season finale. Yeah. And I actually wound up Googling, because I thought, okay, maybe they're just taking an extended break maybe they're going to do a 2-hour episode or something. And I wound up checking the net, and it goes, no, that was the season finale. And on a lot of socials, especially on like TikTok and Instagram, From is one of those shows that gets a lot of review from fans. And fans have pointed out, I think rightfully so, still love the show, but it's starting to drift almost into the era that Lost got into, that we've been waiting, and as soon as we're told, like, not that you have to get off the island or leave the town, but at least know what the heck is going on and have it be firm, right? And then you can figure out how to get them rescued or not, but at least we know everything. And so much of Lost, that's when people lost interest in Lost, is but people, the interest in Lost started to wane. And similarly with the end, in our next season is reported to be the last episode, the last season, of From. But so much of it was, explain a couple of things. I will say I really enjoyed The Man in Yellow, and the actress that played The Man in Yellow I thought was great. And what they did with Fatima's character was really good, other than they should have given us one more episode. That is that's a cliffhanger, and it's fine to have a cliffhanger at the end of your season. That was not a season-ending cliffhanger. That's an episode-ending cliffhanger, right?
She should have been good. She should have been turn and then let her be with them still. Yes. And then go to the spoiler alert. But it honestly
could have been great because, again, spoiler alert, They could have had her in the town and just know, like, with her relationship with her boyfriend. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Yeah, the main guy's son.
Yeah, and I'm blanking on his name right now. But they could have simply done like she's in town, but she can't go out in the daylight. And she's not human, but she's not one of them. What does that mean? All those things, and maybe that's what we'll get in the next season. But that was so much they could have actually done with that, and I don't know. And I feel bad because they're kid actors, but the young man that plays Ethan, I was so ready for him not to make it this year. I just so much oh gosh, can't someone eat Ethan? Like, seriously. Like, his mom and sister, those are characters I care about. Ethan is so whiny. I'm just like, just stop it.
That mom and sister, they look identical.
They really do.
They could be real life related. I had to check it out.
Yeah. So with that being said, I got a couple I want to share with you from. We're going to talk about one movie specifically in our countdown, so we won't go there. This was a movie that I missed in the theater, so I watched it a couple times on HBO that I really dig. Have you seen the Stephen King movie, The Long Walk?
I have not seen it. I wanted to see it, but it came out at the same time as a bunch of other stuff, and I just never got an opportunity to.
It flew underneath the radar. It is such an interesting movie that is very much a slow build movie. Like, and again, no spoilers, but you know how the movie is going to end, and that's okay, because it's not about how the movie ends, about how we get to the end of the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Mark Hamill is a fantastic villain. He's the primary villain in this movie, and you know what's probably going to happen to his character at the end. But he's only in a few scenes. And this is a movie that's very similar to a lot of the Maze Runner and the Divergent series. Not that it's that type of movie, but it stars a slew of young actors, probably I'm guessing between like 20 and 24, even though they're also be 18. And they all do a great job of holding the movie up, and it's really about how when you go into something that you know it's only going to end one way, but you still try and maintain your humanity in it. It is very much, it's a darker version of the Hunger Games. And you just see these young actors, at least from my perspective, saw how they handled this impending doom, and it was done really, really well, including having a somewhat twist-ish of an ending. So I would really suggest checking out The Long Walk on HBO. It's fairly short. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. Done really, really well. It's really the main 4 or 5 cast members that do The Long Walk. They do a good job of them. So just want to share that one. And shows of the week, the only thing I will add beyond what you mentioned is I continue to love Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. And not even for the main crux of the show, the little things they do, like every week, they change up the opening credits. And what they put in the opening credits is fantastic. And then, if you've not had a chance to watch it, Brad, every episode is called Spoiler, and they give you away in the title of the episode something that happens in the episode. I think that's freaking brilliant.
That's pretty awesome.
Spoiler, this happens, and then you watch to see the spoiler that you know is going to happen. I think that's great. The content's good too, but I will say this how they package it, like again with the credits and the titling, is really, really funny, really, really smart. And a couple other things. Anna Pigeon, a show that just dropped on USA.
Oh,
follow SmackDown. It's actually pretty good. I would give it a B+ right now.
Okay.
But you can see there is growth there. I would say if you like some of those shows that are on like Paramount Plus, like the show, I'm not blanking names of shows right now. The show that we both like, the gentleman from This Is Us, who searches for kids and finds
Tracker.
If you like Tracker, that type of show, you will like this. Okay. The villain, though, the one thing that they need to do is give us a better villain. This villain is so comic book, comic strip, Snidely Whiplash. Like, no one will believe this guy's not a villain. Like, he's supposed to be this great political mover and shake. He is so obviously evil. Like, kids would not take candy from this dude on Halloween. Like, come on. You got to give us a little more tech. Other than that, the casting is really well. And season 4 of Ted Lasso came out, and I love. Have you seen the first episode of Ted Lasso?
I have not. I think I might try watching it tonight. Quick little tangent here. My wife, I'm actually kind of mad at her about this.
Uh-oh.
So she got my oldest daughter home without me knowing. Surprised the shit out of me.
Great
my
job.
friends. And
Great job.
I'm not mad that she brought her. I'm mad that I'm never gonna be able to top that.
No, you can.
I
you
can't.
Might as well just
I can't.
hang it up, man.
I have to,
Hang
right,
it up.
I can't. So I'm a little bit
But you
there.
have to buy like a new house and surprise her. Like, I mean, and I don't
Right.
even know if that would do it. I don't even know.
No,
if that
she's
would
the accountant. She's in the
Yes, so she knows the money moving around.
She knows where all
Hey,
the
we
money
just
is.
had a credit check. What's going on?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but anyway, yeah, that
Also,
was
you
that.
don't want your wife seeing that you bought a new house. Like, wait,
Right.
what's this
Without
for?
consulting her.
right, okay.
Well, remember you brought
but
Kendall home without me
Yes.
knowing?
That's one. Good job. I will tell you this about Ted Lasso, no spoiler, because you definitely should check it out. And I mean, it's a good thing. It is a very not soccer team related episode, and it's very much about the whole show is called Ted Lasso, and while it's about Ted Lasso, this is very concentrated about Ted Lasso and
Good.
who Ted Lasso is away from the team, and for better or for worse, what not coaching has done to Ted Lasso.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, because the
that's
last
great.
season, man, was not that great.
I've rewatched the series a few times. I will say, the second season is my favorite season.
Mm.
Other than if anyone's not seen Ted Lasso, spoiler, I really didn't like them turning Nathan into a villain. I thought he was such a likable character the first season, and you could see the build in the second what was going to happen. And then the third season, he's such a jackass for like 5 episodes. And then he feels bad and quits. By the way, you're the head coach, and this is where, again, we know this is a fictional show, but you're the head coach of one of the biggest franchises within the show, and you just up and quit that job and go and move home with your parents. Like, that's the thing that I will say with the show, if I hadn't, and I'm seriously nitpicking, they do a good job with the players of showing these are folks that have money and wealth and the cars the players drive, and they're younger, right? Obviously, but they don't go and do a good job, and they show with the ownership. But the coaches, I'm assuming this is supposed to be a mid-level, so not the highest level, but a mid-level soccer team. They almost make the coaches seem like they're just almost like high school coaches. Like, no.
Yeah.
Head and beard are gotta be wealthy, but they don't like. And it's cool that they don't have them lean into the wealth. I'm not saying that, but something's like, you just make it sound like, shucks, Ted. No, Ted. If this was a real soccer coach, is a multi-millionaire. So yeah, okay. So Ted would be having a different life if he was real. So.
Right.
And I'm also jealous of Jason Sudeikis' mustache. I've never been able to grow a mustache that cool. So, all right.
Me too, man. I tried, but yeah. All right, buddy. It's time for some WWE, because here
Good.
the signal always shines on the WWE. Brian,
Sir.
take it away.
All right. Are you about to smell what I'm cooking? And Bradley, as always, want to wrestle. Okay. Here we go. So, I'm going to quickly run through the Survivor SummerSlam card from last weekend as we're recording. We went through our head and heart picks. I'm just going to see how we did on these. So as I'm looking at these, first off, we'll just go quickly here. So Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Liv Morgan retained. I was a little shocked. I thought that Io would win, but I'm glad that Liv retained. I think there's more to be done. with the Judgment Day. I also really want the Judgment Day to be good for no other reason than this. It is really hard to have an authentic heel in wrestling anymore. Since we are past the days of kayfabe, everybody knows that it is staged, choreographed. I would never call it fake because it's not. When you get hit with a chair, you get hit with a chair. But with that, it's predetermined, probably the best way of looking at it. Because of that, so we name with all the things that WWE does to show their wrestlers, baby faces, heels, whatever, right, wrong, and different, we get to know them as people. And we see that a lot of the heels are some of the best people. So it's hard to maintain that facade of, I hate your guts. The Judgment Day, namely Dominic, but the Judgment Day as a stable still is authentically booed. And I appreciate that because that's not hard to do. And there's still a fairly young group of people. Dominic's under 30. I think Liv is in her early 30s. Roxanne Perez is under 30. Raquel, I think no one in that group is in their mid to late 40s. I mean, mid to late 30s. So that's their future right there. There's definitely the future of the women's division with three of the top prospects in the women's division. Also, Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonald is probably the most underrated wrestler on the roster. All right. Next up, we had LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys taking on the Bloodline. I really am disappointed in this Bloodline storyline right now. You took Jacob Fatu, who is a legitimate badass, who a few months ago we all would have thought he at least in the main event picture, and you can see him becoming world champion fairly soon. Jey Uso, is a former world champion who had the most over entrance in the WWE. And then Jimmy, who I really like Jimmy, was hoping to see Jimmy get a little more work on SmackDown away from the Bloodline. They're now back in the Bloodline and are really Roman's lackeys. They've lost everything that made, especially for Jay and Jacob, special. And they're just sidekicks at this moment, and that's unfortunate. The Usos aren't even really wrestling as a tag team anymore. It's all the Roman's not around. We'll just deal with these three random guys, and not only that, and they lost. Okay.
Yeah. That was a good match, though, man. That was a good match.
It was a good match. It's just it could have been better, and I'm curious what we do with Solo, Royce, and LA Knight because they did win the match. What do we do with them going forward? Solo is now a babyface, and I actually like him as a babyface.
Dude, absolutely, man.
When he ran it back on Jay's music, I screamed. That was probably the funniest thing, and not laughing at wrestling, laughing with wrestling. That was one of the funniest things. Also knowing legitimately and on screen, they are brothers. They are brothers. That is something that a little brother would do to his bigger brother. I would steal your music. Back in the days when people's music actually were like in a CD or something, your siblings, your youngest brother would steal your stuff, right? So I'm going to steal your music. I'm going to yeet to it. They're going to react to it. That was gold. Gunther versus Nick Aldis, probably my second favorite match of the night. Aldis looked fantastic. We both were texting that we would love for Aldis to get a match at WrestleMania. Based on what happened on night 2, I don't know if that's a thing, but he did a great job. He lost to Gunther as he should. He tapped out as he should. But for a guy that had not wrestled in over 3 years, he did a great job. He did a fantastic job. Fatal Influence taking on the Bellas and Paige. This match stunk.
Yeah.
It was a match I don't think anybody was clamoring for. You knew that Fatal was going to win because they're the young upstarts. They at least should have won. And then you saw two things happen that are really unfortunate. We saw the Bellas turn on Paige. That ends the alliance, but this is the same thing they did when Becky Lynch came back at last year's WrestleMania. Won the tag belts with Lyra Valkyria and turned on Lyra. I mean, it's paint by numbers thing. And then in the midst of that, Brie, right after Nikki came back from her ankle, Brie injures her shoulder. So there's no win there. Let's say about that match to be better. Then we got CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it was the shit for sure.
But It had probably there were two I would say wow factors in over the weekend. One on night one on night two. The wow factor happened here, which is our friend is back, Randall K. Orton, with that RKO literally out of nowhere, and Punk wins, and that does two things. Number one, gives Punk more time with this reign, which we're going to talk about more on night two, and more importantly, for I think everybody, for the better part of business, it gets Cody out of the world title picture for a while. He's going to be taking time off from Street Fighter. He's going to be in this feud with Randy Orton. There's other things you can do with Cody. Cody does not need the belt right now, and he does not need 4 title reigns in
like 2 years.
Less than 3 years. Yeah, less than 3 years. So that was great. And then Oba versus Brock. Oba won. Lesnar retired. And I think legitimately this time, even though when shocked me, he's back for the occasional something. But it didn't do anything for Oba that the first match did. It didn't do anything more than the first match did. It didn't do anything more than the first match. So I want to ask you now, I'm asking for night two. For night one, what was your favorite match?
My favorite match was probably Aldis and Gunther.
I can see that. And what again? I think we already know. What was your least favorite match?
The Bellas and Paige and Fatal Influence.
Yes.
It could have been a Raw. It could have been a house show.
There were a couple matches, and I think it's been the. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's been one of the thoughts online, at least, has been, including some very well established wrestling podcasts, have been a couple of these matches that you could have taken off and had them on Raw or SmackDown, instead of it being 6 matches on night one and 6 matches on night two. You could have lost 3 matches, 3 of those matches, put them on television, free TV.
The next day.
Yeah, and then had a 9-match card instead of a 12-match 2-night card, a 9-match 1-night card, and it would have been one of the better cards of the year.
Yeah.
One of the better cards of the year. Okay. Both 6-person tag matches could have been taken off, as well as it's great for comedy, but I think the Danhausen match could have been on again Raw. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was for the kids.
It was for the kids. For me, my favorite match was honestly Liv and Io, just because I love that finishing sequence that they did.
Yeah, that was cool.
Io and Liv are both fantastic, and I absolutely love them. Okay. When it comes to night two, we've got starting off with the other big surprise of the night. So we're going to have the Fatal 4-Way determine the number 1 contender. That was supposed to be Sammy versus Finn Balor, but then we get Gunther added to the match, and then we get, finally he's back, your twin brother, Kevin Owens. All
yes.
Right. And he got emotion. Did you notice when he comes in and turn around from the screen for a minute? You could see the emotion. I love his new ink, by the way. He figured I'm going to be gone for a year and a half, and I might as well finish my sleeves. Came out, had a great match. I wish he didn't use the stunner as his finisher, not because anything to do with Stone Cold. It just isn't as cool as when Stone Cold does. It doesn't look as impressive. I love this pop-up powerbomb, but given the finish that Oba uses, I get to trying to do something else. It's also probably easier on his body than the pop-up powerbomb. But he won. He's going to have a match, and we found out SmackDown is going to have that in SmackDown in a couple weeks in Toronto. So he's going to challenge Punk in Canada. Then we've got Corbin winning the U.S. title from Trick Williams. While the belt hasn't changed yet, I'm assuming the furry belt will go away.
I tell you what, I'm going to interrupt you because I feel this is very, very important.
Okay.
I have given Trick Williams a lot of hate.
He's not been your favorite. He's not been your favorite.
He may not have been my favorite. But after watching him on Unreal and watching him perform without the toilet paper, I'm a fan.
Okay. We're now 3 for 3.
It's Penta, there, man.
Gunther
took a little.
And Trick Williams. It just takes you a little while.
Takes a little while for things. I am a very, very hard-headed man. And so sometimes it takes a little bit for things to seep in.
That's fair.
But I am a fan of Trick Williams.
Okay.
Whoop that trick. I know.
And I think I think when you look at that dominant Brock Lesnar, while not the same gimmick as Taker, but you look at that guy that's gonna be the guy that rarely loses. If he loses, they're gonna give some time out, like a count out of disqualification. Someone interferes. That's gonna be over. Over is hence Brock's moment of saying, "I'm the past, he's the future." That's gonna be over. But you look at that guy that's gonna be there night in, night out, that can be both babyface and heel with all the charisma. And you know, one of the things I dislike about LA Knight, I feel like he's playing parts of The Rock versus Stone Cold, and to me it's more of an act than anything. I will say, if The Rock and Booker T had a baby, it would be Trick Williams. And it feels like this is who Trick is. This really feels how Trick is. I wonder, and I really think it's going to happen. Mark my words, as we're recording on August 9th, 2026 at 7:19 p.m. Central Time. If Trick has a high-level match at Mania, he's going to break out the Spinaroonie. There's been a couple times he doesn't look at his hands. He's mentioned that Booker T is his idol. They have a good relationship. I guarantee you, I'm calling my shot. If he's in a high-level match, especially if it's a title match, if he's in a high-level match at WrestleMania, there will not be toilet paper, but I think we will see a Spinaroonie.
I would be all for a Spinaroonie because that is a great move. Booker T is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Absolutely. All right.
Not just this wrestling, not the Spinaroonie.
Yeah. Finish up a couple of other things then. Chelsea Green became the Women's World Champion interim. And if you notice on SmackDown, I don't know if you saw SmackDown, so a couple updates there. She won the ladder match, which we both were like would be so great if it was Chelsea. But a couple things after that match came about. Rhea Ripley, who's the Women's World Champion, needed to have, WWE Women's Champion, had to have knee surgery. They did not say what the surgery was, but she's obviously going to be out for a while. So when Chelsea came out on SmackDown on Friday, if you didn't see this, she was wearing a t-shirt that had the interim above Women's WWE Champion, and it was actually crossed out and said permanent. So that's the idea. We have a couple cameos behind you. They are definitely going forth with that, but unfortunately, Chelsea does have a fractured orbital bone, which is said she'll be out of action as far as wrestling for about 8 weeks. But we both know Chelsea Green can do a lot of things without getting in the ring and taking bumps. So, congrats to Chelsea Green. All right, should we do our
girls? You want to say hi? Okay. All right. Well, we will just keep going then. All right.
Real Soldier Forth. Yes.
Hello, girls.
So neither one of them get any personality traits from their dad. Neither one of them.
Neither. Nope.
No, we have to say something.
Oh, you want to say something? All right, into the mic.
Hello, everyone. Question of the day. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? It's summer, so what's your favorite ice cream?
Well, I would say mine is anything to do with peanut butter. But for those
watching this,
give us a comment.
We love that.
All right. And okay, Princess Leia, you got something for us?
I do.
You realize his head is attached to his shoulders, right? Okay, you were trying like you're trying to move it like it can only go so far. His head is attached to his shoulders. But please go ahead.
Okay, so you know how a hamburger is called a hamburger?
Yes.
So why is a chicken sandwich, which is literally the same thing with chicken, called a chicken sandwich instead of like a chicker?
Because hamburgers were invented in a place called Hamburg, Germany, so they're named after the town they were created in.
Yeah, but it's also like a hamburger. So why can't it be called a...
It's also not ham, it's steak. So
I know.
It wouldn't make any sense. So
like
it's named a hamburger from the town it was created in.
Then they should also be called a chicken burger, just to like...
Do you know why a sandwich is called a sandwich?
No.
So, there was a guy named the Earl of Sandwich, literally. And he liked
Earl
to
of
play
Sandwich.
Hang on. He liked to play cards. So because he was in a marathon card game, he asked his servant to bring him meat and bread.
Oh, beautiful.
He initially put the bread between two pieces of meat, but the meat made his fingers greasy and it stained the cards. So he flipped it and put the meat between two pieces of bread so it wouldn't stain the cards, and that's what he created became known as a sandwich. So that's literally where we get the name sandwich from a guy named the Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, I have another question.
What question?
Okay, I have a question that's for the nerds over here, like Daddy.
You gotta take a bit of fire.
Okay, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. If Spider-Man could be an ice cream flavor, what ice cream flavor would he be?
Spider-Man flavored ice cream.
No, but what flavor? Like cotton
They would
candy?
It would have raisins in it. They would call it web raisins.
He said he would call it web raisins.
Oh, okay. Nice one.
Let her know,
that.
Leia. Let her know. I'm a champion. Let her know.
Okay, Daddy, I'm almost done. Do you see I dyed my hair?
I can see you dyed your hair now. Yes, when you get up close, you can tell.
It's technically red.
It's actually purple.
It's red. I will bite you.
It looks red to me.
Touch up on your nose.
Okay.
Wait a minute, isn't that called?
No,
that's called something. Isn't that called cherry Coke when it's like red and purple? Isn't that called cherry Coke or something?
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear him?
Tell your dad, I'm a champion. Let him
he
know.
Says he's
I
a
know
champion. Is that position hurting your back?
What do you think? What do you think, girls? Do you think having his head turned at a 95-degree angle, maybe that's uncomfortable?
Yeah. Here. Wait, do you still have that little flyaway from your beard? Let me see. Yes, you do. Oh, I still want to flick that.
No. Oh my gosh, give me the headphones back.
Okay.
LA, I need her bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye.
That was really loud, probably. Actually,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, princess.
All right.
Actually, make sure that you drink up all the tea because we're getting a lot of tea.
Okay.
Never mind. I don't know.
That
We
didn't
will
land at all. That didn't
drink-
land at all. She tried, but that did not land at all.
You know, I think she's talking about those Long Island teas.
Yeah, potentially. So you can tell one of your daughters is on the podcast a little more than the other. And brother, how's your neck?
I'm gonna need. There's gonna be a kink in there.
I will say that is proof that you are a really good girl dad because yeah. That should be, dude. That should be your next book. The Trials and Tribulations being a girl dad.
I love that. Actually, I'm gonna write that down.
Dude, seriously, that's a book that we need out there. I think that would be fantastic. Like some stories from the girl. Well, we got the manosphere with. How about the girls' datasphere? Something like that. I think that would be outstanding.
That is a great idea. One last question before we move on to the second part of the show.
Yes,
this is brand new. I haven't never done this for you, but I want to talk about this Signal reboot. Okay. And this is, I'm going to take something from a while ago. Okay. So, and for this case, we're going to do The Last Starfighter.
Oh, wow.
Would The Last Starfighter fit in today? And what would you change with it? What would you change it? Or would you change anything to it to bring it in, to update it is what I'm thinking.
So I think it could completely work. Instead of it being the old school arcade game, it would be an app on a phone. That's the biggest change. You make it an app on the phone. And then same difference, you can have a kid living in a trailer park, ostracized, loner. He finally unlocks this secret level on the game. You call the app The Last Starfighter. He beats The Last Starfighter on the game, and he's supposed to get some type of reward. And I would even do maybe like like a countdown on the phone. So some type of countdown that says you receive your reward in whatever. And then whenever the countdown ends, it's where outside of his home, you see the lights from above and see the Starfighter land and take him off. I think other than that, you would keep it pretty much. Now I want to watch it, almost shot for shot, story for story with The Last Starfighter, but you would just make it a phone app, and since and then I would have the alien voiced by Giancarlo Esposito. That's just me.
That's fair. I mean, that is the right answer for any voice.
Anything, or Sterling K. Brown. K. Brown. So, yes.
Perfect. All right there. And, would you make it a TV show or a movie?
I still do it as a movie, but I would do it straight to streaming. So, I put it on Amazon or Netflix.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. We are going to be taking just a quick little minute break.